நம்ம தொடர்ந்து அவரோட அடுத்த புக் பற்றி சாந்தனு சார்கிட்ட கேட்கலாம். You, now that we have seen how Yogi ji started working on the transformation of the Bimaru state to a better state. So there are few policies that you have also mentioned in how he transformed Uttar Pradesh. So let's start with one or two controversial topics that he has done. The illegal cow slaughterhouse, closing of it. And another popular thing is this anti-Romeo squad. So could you please tell us about that?
So I think the first thing that he, when he came to the state, and the state was not alien to him. He was a parliamentarian from one of the constituencies, Gorakhpur, and he has a huge influence in the eastern part of UP where Gorakhpur lies, right? So he knew there are multiple problems which has to be tackled before anything else, right? Foremost one was law and order.
Okay.
Right? Law and order at multiple levels, right? That has to be taken upfront, right? So there he started. So first thing was there were a lot of organized mafia. Well, so organized mafia means every district he identified like 5-6 large organized groups.
Even there was something like illegal degree or something.
I'll tell you. So organized crime means it's not like one or two random goons here and there. Organized means if I am a goon, I have like 50 people team.
Okay.
It's like a organized means like it's not an office, but yeah, I know that these are my people and I'll give you this work, you'll give this work, you'll kidnap, you'll do this. It's organized crime, right? Where like they're known people, right? And what they're doing, sand mafia, cheating mafia, illegal degree mafia, car chori, like a vehicle stealing was a major racket, like from Mercedes, so they can do anything. Within minutes, they can dismantle the whole vehicle and send to parts here and there, right? Mining mafia, kidnapping mafia, so much so the Adobe, you know the company Adobe?
Yeah.
Its CEO son got kidnapped in Mulayam's time. Like not only typical businessmen, like a modern technology people's children also got kidnapped in Mulayam Singh Yadav, Akhileshs Yadav's time, right? So the organized crime in railway or tenders mafia, right? So there are multiple crimes, right? So first of all, he gave free hand to his police, identify all of them, and these are the people who ran away from the courts, ran away from jail, FIR'd but never arrested because of they got the political patronage in previous SP, BSP government. All of these, right? And one of these is what you said is illegal slaughterhouses, right?
Yeah.
See, cow slaughtering is banned in UP and multiple. There are very few states in India where cow slaughtering is allowed.
Yeah.
Kerala being one of them, right? So cars...
and there is a law which is from 1955.
Which is from Jawaharlal Nehru's time, right? So it's not a new law. Only thing, he just made those laws compulsory. He implemented them, that's all. Right? So he did not do anything new. That's why there is nothing controversial about him. If implementing a law is controversial, yeah, then he was controversial, right? A lot of past government closed eyes on them because that was the vote bank for them, right? He said, okay, slaughterhouse, if it's allowed, if whichever animal can be slaughtered, but based on all the norms, pollution norm or industry norm, neighbor norm, he just, so that and a lot of lefty media, they said, no, he's against Muslims, he taken their jobs, all of that. He's only targeted the illegal slaughterhouses. Second thing, during his last 19 years in parliament, in his constituency, he realized that that crime against women is a huge crime in India, right? So a huge crime in Uttar Pradesh particularly. So much so that a girl even can't go to tuition alone. A brother or a father or someone in the family has to drop her and pick her, right? She can't even go to a tuition class, let alone the school, college, right? So then he constituted Romeo squads. 3 people squad with 1 woman officers in places like in front of college, in front of school, in front of markets, famous markets, right? All of them, so that normal life, he said, ease of business and ease of living should go together. Like if you're in a state, you should know it's 7 o'clock, I have to go home. Why?
Yeah.
If it's 10 o'clock, like if a boy can roam on the street, a girl should also be able to roam on the streets. And that also increases economic activity. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
If it's safe, you will go out. You will eat your chaat puri, bhel puri, all of that in 9, 10 also. And if you go out, if thousands people go out, it will be business for a lot of people.
Of course.
So law and order, good law and order also is good commerce.
Yes.
Right? If I do my economic activity only till 7 p.m., the prime 3 hours of economic activity will be gone.
Yeah.
Right? So he did everything that was required to make state a fully law and order proof state. That's one. Second thing, he realized that, and also he was conscious that to make UP prosperous, I have to bring a lot of businesses, private businesses, from various parts of India and from outside. Right? He said, what is the second thing you need to run? First thing is, You need law and order. My employees are safe, my money is safe, right? As an entrepreneur. Second thing, I need bijli, I need power, which is like hardly 10-15 hours. He made sure there's a 24-hour electricity in district headquarters, 22 hours in rural pockets, and 20 hours at least in remote of the village. Just imagine 8 hours of more electricity in your life. You will use more gadgets, you will buy more gadgets, and that will anyway increase the GDP from purchasing of that equipment and the production production out of that equipments, right? So power, right? Second thing is connectivity. Because UP is a massive state, right? Like from one place in UP to another place is almost a day.
Exactly.
Like if you start from Meerut, which is next to Delhi, Noida, and if you have to go to Ghazipur, which is next to Bihar.
Yes.
So which is like the whole length of India, right? So what he did, he did three things. With the close coordination with the central government, he made sure the railway network is even more solid, right? Second thing, series of expressways. From like the distances which are 8 hours, 9 hours away, they are 2 hours, 3 hours. Can you imagine? 8 hours to 3 hours? Not 8 hours to 7 hours.
Just before the election, the High Court even gave a statement in Uttar Pradesh that the express highway was not actually an express highway. So, Yogi ji has transformed fictionary express highway to an actual express highway.
So, Akhileshs did pre-launching of a lot of things just for elections. So, multiple expressway, Purvanchal Expressway, Bundelkhand Expressway, now Ganga Expressway is coming, which will be the second highest expressway in any state, right? So, multiple expressways. And then airport connectivity. If a lot of entrepreneurs have to fly from, let's say, Chennai to Mumbai, they may not be able to take a train, right? Or they can't just go to Lucknow. They have to go to various parts. So now from Gorakhpur, which is quite remote, you can go to Gorakhpur and come back in a day. From Prayag, you can do that. In Bareilly, you can do that. Earlier, there were like 3 functioning airports with 20-25 flights in and out. Now there are 9 functioning airports, including 4 international airports with 80 to 85 flights going in and out, right? Now Ayodhya is coming up, Jewar is coming up. Ayodhya is an international airport. And the name of Ayodhya airport will give sleepless nights to many. The name of the Ayodhya airport is Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram International Airport, right?
Lovely.
So can you imagine if Rahul Gandhi is landing, right? If he's going to Ayodhya, I doubt he ever will, but so the captain or the air hostess will declare, now we are going to land at Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram Airport. I think he will get shock of his life that the Ram, which was imaginary a couple of years back, now there's an airport after him. So yeah,
that's really nice.
So these are the lot of things he has placed, right? Power should be there, law and order should be there, connectivity should be there. The ease of doing business ranking, where UP was 14th, 15th.
Right.
We thought that ranking is for Maharashtra's, Tamil Nadu's and Andhra's and Telangana's of the world. We are only ranked in crime. Now we are second. Uttar Pradesh is second. Even Uttar Pradesh wala is not able to believe, oh, are we second? Like really? Then you check it's a World Bank ranking. Right? So all the rankings where we were not in top 10, now we are in top 5 or top 2.
So we also have read that in one of the meetings, Yogi ji called and he said, out of the cleanest 100 cities, there is just one Uttar Pradesh city that is featuring, and out of the 50 worst cities, 100 worst cities, 50 of the Uttar Pradesh cities are mentioned in this. And that's where he started this Swachh Bharat. And could you also tell us about how the life of women in rural Uttar Pradesh was transformed by Yogi ji?
So what Yogi ji takes huge inspiration from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right? He says, if we can implement all his schemes to the T, our work is done. Let's not even innovate.
Right.
At least for the first 5 years, there's so much. It's such a deep gadda that even if you just take Narendra Modi's policy and implement them, right? So there are 42 schemes of central government where UP is number 1 and number 2. Almost number 1 in 42 of them,
Fantastic,
right? So, and primarily, they all benefit women in the house. In fact, during election, a video got viral, a Hindi video got viral. One woman said, I start my life from Yogi Modi and ends my life with Yogi Modi. He said, how? See, I get up in the morning in a house, which was from Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, right? Then I go to a toilet, which is earlier I used to go to the field, which was cumbersome, snakes, molestation. Now I have a toilet with water. So I thank Narendra Modi Yogi. Then I cook my food. So then I take bath and all, then Har Ghar Nal Yojana. Then I get water in my house. Otherwise, there's 2 hours works to go to water and fetch the water, right? Then I cook food. There's a gas cylinder and a gas stove given by Modi Yogi, right? and then the cash that I use for my grocery, that is from Kisan Yojana, which now directly comes to my bank account, and an SMS comes on my mobile. Now I can go out freely because there is no law and order problem. So these are not those any like imaginary policy. These are a woman telling you. But I'll tell you a very interesting thing. During election in 22, Priyanka Gandhi, credit to her, was also decently active. First time at least. Like Rahul Gandhi now, she at least came out of her house, right? Her fancy palace in a fancy vehicle. She came out, good. So she went to one rural house, almost like a picnic, and she saw a empty kerosene can. And she said, oh, it's empty. So the woman said, now in the ration shop, they don't give kerosene. She said, oh, in Yogi ji, even kerosene is not available. So she said, no, now I have a gas.
Oh my God.
She said, okay. So she got a googly. I don't need kerosene now. I don't need that stove now. I have a cut. I have a stove now, right? Come on. Which age are you on? Kerosene dabba just for fetching water now, right? So, so that's how the UP is a very different UP from industrialist to the woman in the village. From everyone. He said ease of living for people and ease of doing business for the businessman.
And if I'm not wrong, that lady also mentioned, the one who spoke before the election, Modi ji, Yogi ji ka namak khaya.
Namak khaya. Because how powerful that statement is. I think a lot of us commentators together can't have the power of that. Unka namak khaya. He said, the journalist asked, kisko vote karoge? Whom will she vote? He said, unka namak khaya hai. I have taken their salt, like everything from food to toilet to, how can I even deny a vote to them? I indebted to them. See, implementation of a policy earlier was a luxury. Now it's like a demand. In fact, UP people have become greedy. Now what next? Which is good. That's the way government should be.
That's really nice to hear. Shantanu gupta sir என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, ஒரு பெண் ஒருத்தருடைய வாழ்க்கையை எப்படி யோகிஜியோ மோடிஜியோ மாற்றிருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கிறத ஒரு உத்தரப்பிரதேச சார்ந்த ஒரு பெண் வந்து அவங்களே ஒரு எலெக்ஷனுக்கு முன்னால் ஒரு சும்மா யாரோ ஒரு ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் கேட்ட கேள்விக்கு பதில் சொல்லும் பொழுது, என் வாழ்க்கையே 2 பேருடைய உதவியால் தான் நடக்கிறது. நான் காலையில் எழுந்ததும் நான் யூஸ் பண்ணுற டாய்லெட் அது வந்து ஸ்வச் பாரத்தில் எனக்கு கொடுத்தது. நான் அதுக்கடுத்தது வீட்டிலேயே குளிக்கிறேன். முன்னாடினா வெளியில் போய் தண்ணி எடுத்துகிட்டு வரணும். அது அவங்களுடைய குடிநீர் திட்டத்தில், வீட்டுக்கு தண்ணி திட்டத்தில் அது கிடைச்சது. நான் முன்னாடிலாம் விறகு அடுப்புக்கு சேர்த்து கொண்டு வரணும். இப்போ அவங்களுடைய திட்டத்தில் எனக்கு வீட்டில் கேஸ் கனெக்ஷன் இருக்குது. ஸோ என் நாள் பூரா நான் வந்து மோடிஜியும் யோகிஜியும் கொடுத்த திட்டத்தை உபயோகப்படுத்துகிறேன். ரொம்ப பவர்ஃபுல்லான இன்னொரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் சொன்னாங்க, அவங்களுடைய உப்பை சாப்பிட்ருக்கேன், நான் வேறு யாருக்கு நான் இது பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்னு. இன்னொரு விஷயம் என்னென்னா, பிரியங்கா காந்தி ஒரு வீட்டில் போயிட்டு ஒரு எம்டி கெரசின் கேனை பார்த்துட்டு, மண்ணெண்ணெய் இல்லையே, யோகிஜி கவர்மெண்ட்டில் அது கூட கிடைக்கிறது இல்லையா அப்படின்னு கேட்க, அவங்க நீங்கள் எந்த காலத்தில் இருக்கீங்க, இப்போல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு கெரசினே தேவைப்படுறதில்ல, நாங்கள்லாம் கேஸ் அடுப்பு யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்ட்ராங்கான பதிலை சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. டாக்கிங் அபவுட் தீஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட், we always hear about what Yogi ji is going to do for the next year or upcoming year. And one of the most important things that we often hear about is foreign direct investment. Okay. So we also know that he had a target and he has achieved more than 80% of his target already. And he has huge plans for this G20. Could you please highlight on that?
So, when I met him this time last year for my second book, right? That time it was the high peak election time, right? Remember, January 2022, election was started at 10th February 22, right? I met him around 5th or 6th of January to gift my second book, The Monk Who Transformed Uttar Pradesh, and we call him Maharaji. Maharaji, I went to almost 50 districts and looks like your government will easily repeat. He's a man of few words. He said, he smiled. He said, okay, you will be the chief minister again. And my book covers that. And what will be your focus next year? Can you imagine a politician who is facing one of the toughest election in his life in UP's history, who's in between all the election rallies, Narendra Modi coming, he is going to many places. Akhileshs is saying caste, yes, all of that. In between his focus, he said, next term, I will do everything possible to make UP a 1 trillion economy.
Oh my God.
That's his focus in between election, when all the things are going on, right? Okay, that happened. BJP won the election. Even before he took the oath of office, he asked his team, he was the acting chief minister even then, right? As a continuing
chief minister.
He asked his office to float the request for proposal, RFP, for engaging a consulting company for making UP a one-trillion economy. And by the time he was 3 months into his governance, among the various consulting companies, Deloitte was engaged. They were given the task, and there are almost a 70-member Deloitte team working different departments in UP, how to increase the revenue target, right? And he said, not only foreign direct investment, I need investment from various states, right?
Yeah.
So when during Corona, Samsung display unit shuts down in China, it could have gone anywhere. It went to Noida. It gave some 5,000-6,000 jobs. So whatever Samsung screens you have are built in Yogi's Uttar Pradesh, right? And now from 10th to 12th February, there is Global Investment Summit, where he sent 8 teams in December to 16 countries. 1 cabinet minister, 1 chief secretary level officer or a ACS level officer, multiple senior officer, EY consultant, Deloitte consultants, CIA consultant, FICCI consultants from this side, Australia, Singapore, Japan, Korea, either UAE, 5-6 countries of Europe, UK, Canada, US, and Brazil, Argentina. So senior ministers came there, and the target for the whole GIS was 10 lakh crores, because last year he achieved 5 lakh crores investment promises. The investment target this year was 10 lakh crore. Out of the various visits, which were kind of over the Indian investment, right? They all came back with a proposal of 7.5 lakh crores. So he took a meeting of all of them. After coming back, ministers and secretaries have to present themselves, not through EY consultant. In fact, EY consultant was kept out of the room.
Okay.
And so you present, and they presented which country, which investor, what discussion happened. It was a massive 6-7 hour long meeting happened as soon as they came back. Like a CEO's meeting, right? Hey. Your salespeople go out, you come back, report to the CEO. Yeah, report to the CEO. What did you do? It was not a tour. It was not a fun tour, right?
Yeah.
And then they realized there is 7.5 crore investment after taking out all the MOUs which are not looking so strong, which were only promises, right?
Yeah.
The solid MOUs were 7.5 lakh crores, right? And he said, we said 10 lakh crore from India. Now you already got 7 lakh crore. The people said, now only 2.5 lakh is there. So no. 10 lakh is still there. We'll add 7.5 lakh to this. So now the target is 17.5 lakh crore. So the team said, oh my God. So now what they did was say, now do investment meetings in India.
Right.
So he went to Mumbai himself, met your Ambanis and like all of them, all the bankers, met Bollywood wallas, all of them, right? He's making a film city in Noida. Then people came to Chennai, people came to Hyderabad, people went to Delhi. So all the big cities, his team or he went, right? And they're already close to the target. Now with GIS, more intents will happen, right? So this is how UP is running. This is for the UP wallas. This is like some dreamland. Like we were in some other world. Who is kidnapped, who is molested, what crime rate, what road, what accident. That was the news coming out of UP. Now it's a very different UP.
It sounds like, somebody was in coma and wakes up, they won't be able to identify. Or someone
they say, where am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing change in a lightning speed is what we could see here. Now, this transformation, everything is something that we are all reading and we're very happy to hear about. There is one important question that is in the minds of many, many readers who already have read your book is, how did Yogi ji manage this COVID? Because the state with the largest immigrant population, at that point in time, we also had illiterate population and agriculture economy. And there were a lot of restrictions imposed. Many things were not working. And how law and order or any other thing, how did Yogi's government manage COVID?
Yeah. So I think he did, first I'll tell you that he managed COVID wonderfully well. And from WHO to multiple parliamentarians from outside India to Niti Aayog to various IIT Kanpur, they're all reports, applaud them technically, not like politically, applaud technically what data. So we need not even contest that did he manage well or not. That's given, various bodies have recognized that, right? The reason I attribute to it, first of all, his understanding of health. If you talk to him about health, he will sound almost like a health professional. He will sound like a doctor, right? Because he's running a 400-bed hospital from last 20 years.
Yes.
He's working on Japanese encephalitis from donkey's ages, right? When people could not even pronounce Japanese encephalitis, which is quite a tongue twister, he was working with a lot of American agencies how to eradicate it in his district, right? In fact, I was with, what's his name? just before current AIMS director, Dr. Gulia, there was AIMS director Dr. Mishra. I was talking to him in private some days back. He said, me and Yogi ji used to have a lot of debates in Lok Sabha channel. Okay. Right? Lok Sabha TV.
Yes.
Right? During Parliament. When he was the AIMS Delhi director and he was a parliamentarian. Right? And whenever I used to talk to him on Japanese encephalitis, he knew far more than me. Can you imagine? An AIMS doctor, AIMS director is telling that a politician knows far more than me on Japanese encephalitis. So that's how came handy to Corona. Right. He did three primary things. He made sure that all the people from UP can very easily come to UP back. If Maharashtra is throwing them out under earlier Shiv Sena government, they will be taken care, talking to the railway minister, making sure trains directly come. If the quota, if you know what is quota, quota is a massive coaching place, and if the quota kids of UP want to come back, thousands of buses are arranged, they'll come back. If Arvind Kejriwal throwing people out of Delhi, Yogi stood on the bus stop. Can you imagine?
I could.
With his police fellows, he stood on the bus stop, made sure those buses go to far from Gazipur to from Ghaziabad to Gazipur is like a 15-hour road drive, right?
Yes.
He made sure they reach there. Once they reached there, he made quarantine huts.
Yes,
right?
Where they could.
And made Nigrani Samitis that, okay, they should only come inside after spending 15 days there.
Fantastic.
Right?
Yes.
And then only come there. Okay, all of this happened. In second wave, before second wave, he made a team of 1.5 lakh people, Asha workers, Anganwadi, and went with a small kit to almost every household. Can you imagine? 14 crore people he touched in a matter of 20 days. Made sure that first of all, I'll come to a house with the checklist. I'll say, do you have this symptom? Do you have this symptom? Do you do this? Do you use mask? All of that. If I find you are a little doubtful, quarantine. If I find you are fine, this medicine kit. Medicine kits had crocin, ivermectin, some vitamin tablets, right? Okay. And also a protocol, and that time vaccine was also there. And Akhileshs and kinds of Rahul Gandhi have spread huge rumors against vaccine. Some people went to say, isse wo aa jayegi. You become important, it seems. A minister on record said, a politician of Akhileshs Yadav party on record said, ki mat lagwao. You will get important. Can you imagine, like, what disservice can it happen? It should be jailed, like, for that statement, right? Exactly. Akhileshs said, no, we don't believe in this BJP ki vaccine and all of that, right? So all of that, he went village to village to make sure that people know about it. During the second wave, he got corona infected. Yogi himself, right? Because he was meeting everyone. Then 15 days he quarantined himself, did all the meetings. Luckily, he was not unfit. Only thing, he just got positive, right? He did all the meetings on Zoom. As soon as he came out, he declared negative. He went to almost 50 districts within a matter of, made sure see, a presence of a chief minister in a district also calms people. Oh, there's somebody's there. He's not hiding somewhere and just tweeting like the other ones, right? So, my God. And then the oxygen. When the oxygen thing happened, he made sure he created new tankers. He made sure the trains come. So, all the experiment on oxygen happened in UP. He put the tracking device in each truck that carrying oxygen and made sure it reaches the nearest hospital. So, all the gadgetry, all the process and engineering happened. And it was the team 9 which he constituted, which used to meet every day, morning and evening. Morning, it starts the day with team 9 and ends at 11 o'clock. Team 9, what happened today? And do we have a gaps? Do we need budget? Do we need any phone calls to be made to any other state, any other industrialist who can supply X, Y, or Z, right? So Amazing. It was like a machinery military precision, and his knowledge of health. That helped. So nobody can give, we call it in UP, nobody can give him goli. Nobody can give him, I'm doing this. And no, that doesn't work. I know how. So if a gloves comes for 30 rupees, nobody can go 300 rupees. Because that time massive corruption also happened during COVID. Because in emergency, you don't have time to check 3 codes and all of that, right? So he made sure if gloves come to 30 rupees, come to 30 rupees. You can't quote 100 rupees because he's buying that for his hospital from many years, right? So I think that knowledge came handy to UP. So thanks to him that he saved UP from.
That's really.
In fact, a politician from Australia said, "I want him as a prime minister for Australia." Because Australia was in doldrums during COVID. Can you imagine? That's a member of Parliament of Australia is saying, "Can I have an administrator like this in my country?"
That's the best compliment.
That's a huge recognition, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so that's that.
Now that you talked a lot about Yogi's transformation, we from Tamil Nadu, we've been hearing about Yogi ji and how he's been working through our people who traveled on this Kasi Tamil Sangamam. How did UP people receive this?
Right. See, if you go to these three, citadels of Hindu religion, and we always say that whenever I go out and say I come from the state of Rama, I come from the state of Shiva, I come from the state of Krishna, right? And he did massive transformation in all these places, right? Ayodhya, the temple is coming up. Ayodhya, the new city is coming up. New airport is coming up. Kashi, there is a huge corridor there.
Vishwanath corridor.
Kashi Vishwanath corridor. The Ganga is clean. The ghats are super clean. There are big, large religious events happening, right? All the Diwalis and Holis are celebrated in massive fashion, right? The Kumbh that happened in 2019 was one of the largest Kumbh ever happened, like, and the grandeur it happened. The ambassadors of various countries went there.
Yeah.
The Parvasi Bharatiya Divas also happened in UP, and all those people traveled to Prayag. Kashi to Prayag is hardly a 4 or 5 hours journey. All of that happened, right? So in all these places, you'll anywhere find a lot of Tamil, a lot of South Indian Shraddhalus, devotees, right?
Yes.
So there was a inherent connection anyway. Someone recognized that and made it formal.
Yes.
Right? So that people from there, because I have seen, sadly so, unfortunately, I don't want to make it political, lot of politics of this state is based on North Indian, South Indian divide. Which was a stupid theory of RN invasion theory, which was bunked by historians. In fact, the historians like Romila Thapar and Farah Habib, who coined this theory, don't even talk about this theory now, because they know it's debunked to death, right?
Yes.
But the politics here, the Dravidian politics here has imbibed that, because that's their bread and butter.
Of course.
I have realized that someone told me that the DMK politician runs a lot of private schools here, right?
Yes.
And Hindi is taught in all of those schools.
Of course, it's a CBSE school.
Their kids speak very good Hindi, but they don't want rural kids to study Hindi. So that what if they learn Hindi, they will also upward mobile.
Yeah.
They will also go in every place in India and can earn jobs. They say, no, they should only know Tamil.
Yeah.
My kids should know Hindi, my kids should know English, my kids should know Tamil. But their kids should not know Hindi, right? Because it's a pan-India language, right?
Yeah.
So they did very smartly. They played on Hindi, they played on North India, they played on RN invasion, all of that, so that they can make a small cosmo of their self and they can keep getting votes.
Yes.
Right? So which is now shaking up, right? And someone like Kashi Tamil Sangam, which was a bond earlier. It's not a new bond. Only thing someone recognized that, revived that, and made it formal.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, that's a beautiful thing that has happened. Yeah.
Fantastic to know. Thank you for answering all of our questions patiently. Before that, I have one last question, because you yourself have mentioned that there are 4 roles or 4 major segments in the life of Yogi ji.
Yeah.
One, as a kid, he was as a student, and number 2, as a Mahant, and number 3, as a parliamentarian, and number 4, the chief minister.
Yeah.
Which role is close to your heart?
See, his role as a chief minister is known. Even if I not write it, some good and bad is already written, right? His role as a parliament is also known, right?
It's recorded in
Parliament is recorded. If some people have not watched it, but at least it's recorded. With little research, you can do it, right? His role as a Mahant is less written about, but written about, right? But his role, he has Ajay Singh best, but which he will never talk about, because the sannyasi never talks about his pre-sannyas life.
Exactly.
That's almost like a
Purvashram life.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't even talk about that, right? That's very close to my heart, and not only because I'm nostalgic about it. There are 2-3 reasons. First, I find a lot of traces in his upbringing to what he's today, right?
Okay.
Let's say he had like 5 cows in his house, and after coming from the school, taking care of the cows was his responsibility among the 7 siblings.
Oh.
Which reflects in how he treats cows today. Right?
Yes.
That's number 1. Daily after going to the school, he used to visit one temple, one Rama temple.
Oh.
And what is happening in his lifetime is connected. Very often, because Uttarakhand is called a Deva Bhumi, right?
Yes.
So he used to sit with a lot of priests and used to hear a lot of Puranic stories, right? From Yama to Shiva to everyone. That was his pastime, right? He was not a priest then, he was a normal boy, right? Uttarakhand is also a state of a lot of freedom fighters. He used to, his sisters, everyone in the village used to tell the stories, and he used to take disproportionate interest in those stories. So this was not normal, right?
Okay.
This is not a normal for a 80-year-old, 10-year-old kid. So I think now I realized he was a child he was what he is in making. Those out of the 7 siblings which are doing very ordinary jobs today, he only came out as a maverick, right? And he's doing what he's doing today. That's why it's very close to my heart. And when I met his mother, his biological mother, who is 84 now and 80 then, and father who unfortunately died last year, but he lived a good life. He was 90 years old. And with this we can end also. So I interviewed him, right, for almost 2-3 hours on a roadside shop. Like I stopped him on the way. Can you imagine Chief Minister's father? We were sitting in a chai shop and was sitting on the road. Traffic is going on. He talked about in length, and he's a very good speaker, right? He was a forest officer, junior forest officer, right? So when I was going, he said one thing very, very, very emotionally. He said, "You saw my blue house." Like, mera neela makan dekha hai, because I was coming from his house where I met the mother, which is around 2 hours away. He said he held my hand, in fact, tight. He said, "You saw my house? That's the only asset in life I have." Because forest officers learn a lot of money. He said, "My colleagues have house in Dehradun. Dehradun is the capital of Uttarakhand, right? But I have that village house where even a bike can go like by difficulty, let alone a car, right? Last half a kilometer you have to walk, right? That's the only asset I have. But the best asset I have, the best property I have," and he choked almost by saying that, and I get goosebumps whenever I say that, "is an honest Chief Minister's son."
Oh my
Can you imagine
God.
that?
Oh my God.
And that's echoing in 75 districts of Uttar Pradesh. An honest Chief Minister. We were waiting for an honest Chief Minister.
Fantastic.
And we got that.
Thank you so much for that punchline that has made us emotional. Our viewers will be very happy to hear this from you, who has seen Modi Yogi ji.
I've heard it from his father, right? He holding my hand and
oh my God,
he said,
what a blessing.
so उन्होंने कहा मैंने कुछ नहीं कमाया है. I have earned, मैंने एक ईमानदार मुख्यमंत्री बेटा कमाया है. That's my earning of life. That's my asset of life.
Oh my God. I read one of the quotes where I would like to add a quote from our own learning. We have this Kamba Ramayan, the Tamil Kamba Ramayan, 1,000-year-old, where the poet Kamban says, Lord Rama chose Ayodhya for his avatar because that's the best place. And I read in one of your reference that God chose Yogi ji for Uttar Pradesh. It really matches.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Though I said we'll end with that. See, Ram Temple movement is a 500-old-year movement, right?
Yes.
Even legally, it's a 70-year-old battle.
Yes.
Right? And when it's happening, when Yogi Adityanath, who is the disciple of Mahant Abhidnath was the head of all the committees.
Yes.
So Ashok Singhal was the front face of VHP, but Mahant Abhidnath was formally the head of all Ram Mandir committees from the 92 demolition to the 86 lock opening, right?
Yes.
He was the head. And they both met, Mahant Abhidnath and a student Ajay Singh Mist, met on the context of Ram Mandir awareness movement when he went to Kodwar, his college, and he joined as a ABVP student in pant shirt, right? And then he got to know Abhidnath, right? And he's the Chief Minister. And Narendra Modi, who managed the Rath Yatra for Lal Krishna Advani for Ram Mandir, he's the Prime Minister. So I think this is not a coincidence. Then when these two stalwarts are managing the place,
right.
And when Kalyan Singh's nephew is education minister, Sandeep Singh is only 30 years, foreign educated. He's the education minister of UP under Yogi Adityanath, Kalyan Singh's nephew, right? So when these people are around, then the Ram Mandir is getting built, right? This is not normal. This is like a super coincidence.
So
it's like divine. Like people are waiting for.
Very divine.
We were installed by God, I can say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So probably this year or in the coming year, we will have the.
The date is declared. January next year. You can have the darshan.
Fantastic.
In fact, I want to tell your viewers, don't miss this golden opportunity to visit the site now, because now it's in construction. You will be never able to see a temple of this nature being constructed. You will see the final temple, but being constructed when you saw there, and you can see it from 50 meters from the small mesh that you have, and it's like goosebump feeling. Oh my God, this is the place which we as civilization are fighting the last 500 years. Now the temple is getting built when Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister and Yogi Adityanath is Chief Minister.
That's really a news to all our viewers. திரு சாந்தனு அவர்கள் நம்ம எல்லாரையும் ராம் மந்திருக்கு இப்போ பாருங்க, ஏன்னா இது மாதிரி ஒரு சந்தர்ப்பம், இவ்வளோ பெரிய கோவில் கட்டுமான பணியோடு இதை பார்க்குற ஒரு சந்தர்ப்பம் கோவில் இனாகிரேட் ஆனால் கூட நமக்கு கிடைக்காதுன்ட்டு நம்ம எல்லாரையுமே உத்தரப்பிரதேசத்துக்கு வாங்கன்னு கூப்பிட்டுருக்காரு. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் திஸ் answering all our questions patiently, and it's amazing. I feel like I've had the first person listener from Yogi himself, because most of that you transform were like goosebump moments, and the most valuable insight that his father told you and that you shared with us is really emotional. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for this lovely interview.
Pleasure.
Thank you.